Today, we'll start creating the invoices, adjustments, recording customer payment, writing off bad debt, creating deposit, and if time permits, we'll see customer contract templates also. So today, even before we begin, because creating the customer invoice is a business process, is not a domain related activity. So that's why we have a BPs for customer invoice and other things also. But first, we'll check the customer invoice default definition. Okay, you have for GMS, for other companies also, and see this is the default definition for intercompany. Okay, this BP gets picked up. First, you define a step here in the default definition of customer invoice event, and then it picks up this intercompany event and it starts creating the corresponding supplier invoice. First, let's check the default definition BP. Okay, so we have 5 steps here. Step A is the initiation step, just to initiate the customer invoice event. Second is, with the customer invoice total is less than equal to 1000 USD, then it will go to controller. Credit limit exceeded. So whatever credit limit we had given to the customer, if that exceeds, then again it will go to controller. Okay, and here's the initiate intercompany event for intercompany transaction only. So once the system finds out that you are trying to create an intercompany, but there is a pre-setup we have to do before we start creating intercompany transactions. So we'll do that setup also. We'll try to set up this company as customer suppliers also, and then only will be able to create the intercompany transaction. So we'll see that in the intercompany chapter. But for now, we can see that we have to assign a controller role to our company, to someone. So let's go ahead. And our company is Twitter. First of all, let's check if you have assigned that role already or not. So we go to our company, you can go to roles, type controller here. Okay. So this one is assigned to Betty Liu and Teresa Serrano. So we are good here. You can start creating the customer invoice. Now again, go back to the BP to show you one more thing. Because we have not created any BP for our company, so it will pick up the default definition. But to check who can initiate the customer invoice event, so these are the BP: accounts receivable specialist, collection manager, customer account integration system, finance integration system, and implementers. So right now, this person, this gentleman, Adam Carlton, I don't see his implementer profile. So he's not implementer. One of the security groups definitely would have been assigned to him, either AR specialist or something. Just to check it out, if he has access, let's open a duplicate tab. And again, we'll open our Twitter here. We'll go to roles. Okay. So the first one is AR specialist. So let's see who has that access. So AR specialist. No one is there. Then collection manager or customer account integration system. So let's go to collection manager. Looks like it's not been assigned to anyone. Okay, so let's assign that first role, which is AR specialist role, to Adam only, this one. Okay, so we go to his profile, Adam Carlton. We will complete the actions and go to security profile and assign roles, add role. What will be the effective date? Let me give some back details here. 9th of May. Copy all. And we add a role enabled for either for cost center, for project hierarchy, company hierarchy, cost center hierarchy. You just mentioned that organization name here. So we'll set Twitter. And let's assign it to Twitter Holdings company. And let's say AR specialist. Uncheck this. It's not a later dated assignment we are doing. So let's uncheck this. Successfully done. Now, if I go back to my company, TW101, roles. Okay, so we have accounting manager. So as you can see, because we had assigned the role to the company hierarchy level, it got inherited and it's been assigned to Adam Carlton. Now, Adam would be able to create the customer invoices for our company. So we'll say customer invoice. Okay. So by default, because he has access for this router, that company has come here by default. Now the customer. So we got Tesla cars here. Okay. Invoice date. I'll show you in a minute how to create this bill to contact. An invoice to rebill, like suppose you want to rebill any invoice for the XYZ reason. Something happened in an old invoice and you could not send it to the client, or it was an incorrect invoice. So you can reference the old invoice here. So next part is from which date to which date this transaction is for. Okay, maybe you have given services for like a period of 10 days, 5 days, or you have delivered these goods between this date. So you can mention those dates here for the customer and for your internal information also. Otherwise, you can skip it. If there is any billable project, okay, so we create projects for our clients. Right? We work on the project, billable projects. All of us works in billable project and we get billing hours for that. So remember, as I said, like we are submitting 9 hours on daily basis or weekly basis. So that's a project that we are working on and we charge the client. Client is what? A customer. So you can reference that billable project also if you have created one. Otherwise, you can skip this. Suppose I want to add a billable project here. Let's say price investment. Okay. And as you can see, we had picked this, the 5% discount net 10 in the customer payment details. We had mentioned that the payment term agreed with this client is 5% discount within 10 days from the invoice date. And it will show the due date, okay, and the discount date also. Yeah. So if he pays before 1st of June or within 1st of June timeline, then he will get a 5% discount. And I'll show you that when I click on record customer payment task, this system will calculate the discount amount on its own. You don't have to worry about it. So let's go ahead. Any PO number, because we are a supplier for the customer, right? We are supplying the goods or services. So definitely there will be a PO number sent by customer to us. So that PO number you can mention here. Any internal document link which is out there and you want to mention it, you can mention, like suppose you have saved some contract agreement details or how to process the invoices, then you can mention this document link here. Memo, you can say this is our first invoice. But normally it won't be like this. Okay, they would put some generic and genuine details here for the approvers or internal record purpose. And remember, this are coming from related work types. So we had set up customer, and from that it's coming. Currency is USD. But if you want, you can change it to any other currency like INR. Okay, you have that facility to change it to any other currency. So that's USD. The first invoice will not use any tax code. We can skip it. Tax code is nothing but like 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever the tax amount is there. Control total amount. This is for, suppose you are creating the invoice with 50 lines. Okay. Now in those 50 lines, you have an idea that okay, those 50 line total is $10,000, let's say. But while doing data work or manual work, you miss the amount or you overwrite some amount with something else and it costs the 50,000 or it is less than 50,000. Then it won't allow you to submit the invoice until and unless it matches the control total amount. So it's like a safe check or control check you have in place that okay, it matches the exact amount for those 50 lines. Now, this is not required as per me when there are only one line or two lines or 10 lines. It is like only when you have multiple lines, multiple items you're selling, but you know somehow and you know in advance that the promised amount paid by the client or you have to charge is like $10,000. In that case, you can mention the amount to have a control check in place. Otherwise, you will see no one is using it, to be honest. I have my client teams and they never use it because sometimes there are only 5 lines, 10 lines to bill customer, not more than that. So no need to worry about this one. Okay. So here is our company name. So sales item. So remember we had created the Workday sales item. Okay, and it will pick up the revenue category automatically and description also. So this is for companies who uses Workday. See, an asset one each $1,000. So analytical amount is nothing but it's the same thing. It's FYI only. And you can see the help text also. It doesn't do any calculation in the background. So it's FYI. Transaction date again, on which date this transaction happened. You can mention that. From date to which date. Contract line, if you are creating the invoice from a contract, then it will show you the contract details also. Deferred revenue, we'll speak about it once we complete other chapters, activities, sorry. And this will also come up when we start using the contract. Tax applicability, if any tax applies, tax code, and withholding tax code. So do you know withholding tax code? What is the withholding tax? It's the same thing about your salary tax, which payroll company or company holds back and give it to the government. It's like an advanced tax also. So you must be wondering that, okay, I'm getting salary and then the tax amount shown up with the salary. But on quarterly basis, they have to deposit this tax in advance to the government. So every quarter, they calculate the tax amount. Okay, for 3 months, this is the tax amount for your salary. And then they deposit in advance to the government. So the government gets the money in advance from us. Not like monthly basis. That is called withholding tax. They just hold it. So we got our invoice. And in this invoice, we have to check few things. We'll print this. I'll show you how to print this invoice. But first, before that, we'll go to accounting, okay, to see the accounting. And then we'll do some changes so it can hit our ledger account. So first of all, let's go to view accounting. And you can see the operation transaction shows us customer invoice originated by accounting date, period for which period it has posted, May 2022. Okay, so it has set to AR debited to revenue. Okay, so this is one invoice, but it has it to a default ledger account called revenue and AR debited. So we'll see both of this account first in APR, then we'll add a revenue category there. Okay, and then we'll see where it hits. So if you see the work tax here, so this is what it's using. So if you look at the 4,000 revenue one, okay, so revenue category software updated means in revenue section, you have to add a revenue category and company, and then you have to create one more ledger account for a company, and then it will show a different ledger account. Okay, so this kind of setup, even before you create transactions, you mention all of the revenue categories and spend categories in the account posting rules. So now let's check the account posting rules. View account posting rule. Okay, so we were using this only, I believe, standard account corporate posting rule. So this is an not an asset, not a liability, not an equity. It's an income account. Okay, if you want to restrict this to a particular company, say Twitter, you can mention that company, otherwise hit done here. And then it will reflect this ledger account here. Okay. Now, if you go back to where is that? So if you go back to the venue here, okay, what we'll do, and as you can see, the account type also, typically an income account. The system also tells you what kind of ledger account would be added here. Typically an income account, expense account. revenue category. So our revenue category was work software updated new, right? This was our software. Now, okay. And if you want to test the posting rule to see if it will work or not, and remember, guys, this is a very challenging work. Okay. Normally, you don't get the FDM module until unless you show the skill set to the project manager and to the clients that you know the core of the accounting. Okay. FDM work is typically given to someone at very highest level who knows the in and out of accounting. Okay. Because all the sections you saw on the left hand side are related to accounting only. So which account will hit where, right? All this part of your data gathering sessions and requirements discovery sessions. And then you discuss all. Other modules are fine. You can give to a fresher also. P2P doesn't matter, O2C doesn't matter, reporting doesn't matter, security doesn't matter. But the FDM part, which is the key part, because it all includes the accounting transactions, that is given to a specialist SME or a project manager. Normally, we don't give it to like someone who's new to Workday. So I'm using Twitter here. Okay. And if I use the revenue category here, let's see, we hit to this leather account or not. Okay. So let's give a revenue category. And typically we do this all the time whenever we add a new revenue category or spend category or anything new in the account posting rules. So now if I want to see, will it hit to this leather account or not? So it will, yes. So you can see the resulting leather account will be this one. The revenue category is this one. Okay. Now we'll go back to our invoice. So for that, you can say find customer invoice for company. Wherever you will see do not use means it has been retired by Workday and soon they will take out this feature or the task or report from the system. So sometimes you will see do not use here in the bracket for the particular report or task. It means it has been deprecated by Workday and they will take it out soon in next release or before next release. And soon we have to prepare for this. And starting August, the release 2 is coming. So we have to start preparing for that too. Okay.
Okay.
So company is Twitter. If you don't remember the invoice number, that's absolutely fine. You always have this report to find out the invoices. As we just have one invoice, so I'll not give other parameters. But generally, in real world, you have to give the parameters to sort out the data or to filter out the certain information. Otherwise, it will just pile up a lot of information in front of you. Okay, so we got our invoice. Just to save some time, I'll copy this invoice and then you will see the functionality of how to copy the invoices also. Now, if I'll just copy this invoice. Okay, same things here, same information here. I'll just go here. I'll just change the amount. So let's say 10,000 or 9,000. I'll not do any other change because I just want to see the resulting impact of accounting treatment. So I'll hit submit here. So let's create one more invoice after this, and then we'll take up your questions. So now you can see this is 1,444 here. It has hit to our ledger account. So that's how you configure the account posting units. So first of all, even before you create the invoice, you would go to account posting units. You would add all the ledger accounts and dimensions, and then you will only start creating transactions. Okay, it's like you do the pre-configuration first, and then you hit the transactions. Now let's go back and let's create one more invoice. Let's copy this. And now you'll see you have the option to change the details. Okay, because we're all humans, we make mistakes. So that's how we can change the details here. Some parameters, some other revenue category, some amount, anything you want to change. If all looks fine, then you can submit it. Otherwise, you can go ahead and change the amount. Everything you want to. Okay, it will give you that option. Okay, so this is submitted. Now let's talk about other options we have from the invoice. If you click on this related action, so accounting we have seen, right? How to check the accounting. Now go to customer invoice and change is changing the entire invoice level details. Update invoice lines. If you just want to update the invoice lines, then you use this feature. Okay, you go to company here, you can search. You can give other parameters also just to narrow down the results. You get this detail here. Okay, you can change the line level details. If it's like 50, 69, whatever, doesn't matter. You still have the access to change it. Now, hit cancel here. Click on these three dots again. You can copy. We just saw the functionality of copy. Okay. And create credit and rebill. Okay. So create credit and rebill means you are rebilling the invoice, you're canceling this existing invoice and doing it again. So you can create a CN as well as the original invoice also, comparing invoice. So we'll say copy all invoice lines, invoice type is standard only, credit adjustment reason, let's say other terms. Okay. So you can read the description here. This task, create the credit adjustment, applies it to the originating invoice and submit the rebill invoice, the new invoice. Workday automatically approves the credit adjustment created through this task and applies it to the originating invoice when you submit the rebill. So let's see this. Okay. Okay, so this is same detail I'm using here. If you want to change the amount, let's say you want to change the amount for XYZ reason, it's 7,000 now. Okay, so submit. Okay, now if you look at the details here, so this is the invoice details, everything is there. Now, if you look at the process, it also got successfully completed, nothing to worry about. Now, let's find this customer invoice. Filter. Okay, so remember, this is the new one, other terms. Okay, so 9,000 got debited here. Earlier it was 9,000. So it has knocked off this balance, 9,000, 9,000. And the new invoice is this one, 7,000. So if you see here, customer invoice adjustment. Okay, this was the original invoice. And if you look at this, let's show you this 11,033 also for sure. So see, we'll show this 11,033 also. And if you open this, You see the approved, it's unpaid, or is an invoice, adjustment related to this, and same thing. Now, let's see other feature here. Adjustment invoice. You can create adjustment also. We can do it later on. Cancel. If you want to cancel this, you can do it. Add notes. You want to add some notes, you can also do it. Add attachment, because this is maybe like customer has sent you some documents to attach to the invoice, and you want to attach it to for your own reference. Okay. And add it approved invoice. So this one is like very strange, very strange. I had raised a case with Workday also, and I said, like, what and you're doing? So see what it will do. So what do you mean by when I click on this added approved invoice? What do you think? What will happen?
That's what I was saying.
Actually, see, it just gives you the PO number field to edit only. Word says that, okay, added approved invoice means you're able to edit the entire invoice, but it just gives you that PO number. Okay, hold from payment. Suppose something happened and the client said that, okay, I'll pay you in 10 days, 20 days, 50 days, and you want to hold this from payment for XYZ reason. Okay, maybe the amount entered by you is incorrect, or we could have asked for a higher amount. So you have to put a follow-up date, that which follow-up date on which date you will follow with the client. So put the dates here. Let's say on 24th, you'll follow up with the customer, okay, regarding the payment. You just need to click OK here. And you will see the status got changed to on hold. Okay. Now, if you want to change it, go back to customer voice. Okay. And you click on this allow payment. Okay. And as you can see, it has released that option. And you can maintain dispute. So if any dispute is there, so you can say in dispute. Okay. So what is the dispute amount? You can say entire 7,000. Dispute reason. Oh, it was 70,000. My mistake. And let's go to dispute reason here. So we'll say duplicate charge. Okay. So again, you could maintain dispute. And you uncheck this option here. So it will just wipe up all of the details. Hit OK. And you can see it has been released. Good. So maintain collection. So you can say maintain in collection. Oh, sorry, payment amount promises this one. So it's in collection, but you can mention the amount there. Now let's print this invoice, and then we'll talk about other features. So if you print this customer invoice, click on this print customer invoice. Again, now I think we'll get some error because we have not defined the printing layout for a company. So let's do that. But I want to show that error first. So we all come to what is the exact error. Ideally, it should throw that error. So let me select this invoice 11033. I can select more also, but let me select this one only. Refresh. So email customer invoice is something like the email address you have given. On that, if you want to email it to the client, you can do that. So in that particular email address, the attachment will go. Now, if you go back to invoice, you will see a different tab for printing note, and there you will see this attachment also. You will say, okay, now I want that to see the attachment again and again and again. How to do that? So here you go in printing note. Okay. So here, if you go, you will see the attachment. Cool. Okay. Now get it out of in collection. Come on. Choose. Okay, now. Now, if we'll just copy this invoice quickly. And I'll just say account. Now we'll get invoice. What I'll do, I'll create the adjustments from this invoice. Let's first do a debit one and then a credit one. Okay. Or vice versa, anything you want. So credit means decrease the amount due. We are giving a credit back to the customer. So it will decrease the amount due. Debit note means we are increasing the amount due. So let's see first this feature, decrease the amount due. Why we are doing it? Let's say price adjustment. Do you want to? And it's a generic ERP feature. Everyone has that. Right now it's a system generated, but later on I'll show you how to do this. So right now it's just a simple number, but you can say CUSC customer invoice underscore something XYZ, whatever you want. So it has gone to Teresa Serrano for review and approval. So let's go to Teresa Serrano profile. We'll do proxy. Start proxy. And remember, proxy is only enabled in the deployment tenants or sandbox or implementation tenant, as we call them. It's not available in production. So we'll go to our inbox. Okay. So let's say approve. Okay, so if we look at this invoice now, adjustment also, she would be having access. So if you go to this invoice adjustment, it will refer the original invoice from which this invoice adjustment has been created. As you can see, we have decreased the 1,000, so there is no amount due. Obviously, we have reduced the amount. Now, if you go back to this original invoice, okay, so you can see the total invoice amount was 8,000. Now the amount due is 7,000 because we had given 1,000 as a credit note to the customer. Now, let's again, she won't be having access. Let's stop proxy. And now let's give a debit note. So we'll go to 034. Okay. TW101. So now, let's say it's a debit note. Okay. Workday populates a display line from the originating invoice. You can add it, add or delete any lines if you want. So we'll go here, and this time I'll say certain amount is, let's say $10,000 or $2,000. We're increasing the amount by $2,000. Submit. So details have been submitted. Now, if you see here, okay, so this is the amount due is 2,000. It's a separate, it's a debit note. That's why it's showing amount due is 2,000. But if you look at the originating invoice, in that it will not show the increase of from 8,000 to 10,000. It will still be 7,000 only. But as it's a separate thing, so the system will show you a different adjustment showing that the amount has been increased by 2,000, but in a different document. Now, the other part. The other part is that if you go to the customer, now if I want to see, I'll show you some standard reports. Okay. So if you come to the customer, okay, you can see how much the total balance is due on the customer side, this side. Okay, so it's a great feature to see every time you want to know how much balance this customer has to pay. You can go here and see that. Now, apart from this, there are some standard reports also which you can use. So there's a tab called custom reports. Okay, so you can see this also, customer, worker, note content, and everything. But if you go to invoices and payments, okay, it will show you the aging also. That current amount due is there. If any amount is due between 1 to 30, that will show 31 to 60, it will show you. So it's a Workday functionality. Then it will, if you come to invoices, suppose you don't want to go to the find customer invoices for company and then you say, then no worries, you come here. Okay. And then you see all the invoices or adjustments here. Okay. If any payments have been made, they will show up here as we have not done anything. So it will not show you. But other things, you can see record payment, apply payment, write off pattern from here only. Any deposits and a related report. This is also a very cool feature. Okay. Now, if you go here, you can see view activity details, view activity summary, view open items, view receivable aging. Okay, so if you open this, receivable aging. So company, you have to give Twitter here. Okay, so what aging you want to see? Operational aging, the operational transactions aging, or financial aging by accounting period, like May, June, July, like that. Okay, so operation aging group, you can select the aging group here. New group standard, I'll select standard here. Operation aging is nothing but the transaction details. Line like all the transactions will show you. Okay, so we'll see this report again. No worries. Okay, so if you see here, 1 to 30, will show you balances in this way. And sometimes company who wants to create a similar report, having some more extra fields. Okay, so this is how you do it. And then if you go back to your customer, Tesla cars, and if you go to invoices and payments again, and go to related reports, and then you can see this activity summary also. And then you give Twitter here. So you okay? So you can see the customer activity summary also, like what is in the total, write-off total, customer overpayment total, refund total, pending payments, ending balance. In just one single click, you get so many details, right? So this is the power of Workday. You don't have to go to several pages. I don't have to open several tabs. In just one single click, I can see all the details, beginning balance, what was beginning balance, netting total, write-off total, payment total, and all these things.